6:30?
Oh, yeah. I've called a meeting to order of Silver Falls School District. Attendance, all present seated board members are here. Flag salute.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business is we'd like to fill the vacancy that we have up here. So round out our 7. And so I'd entertain a motion on nomination for Gene.
I move to nominate Gene Cannon to fill the Zone 7 board vacancy.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to nominate Gene Cannon as board member to fill Zone 7 vacancy. Any further discussion?
Last chance to bail out.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Okay. Come on up. And does he have that?
Josh, can you pull up the, no, on the.
The oath of office.
Oh, yeah, it's right here.
The policy BB.
Come on up, Gene.
Yeah, I've got it.
And you
Here.
can read off Josh's computer the oath. The oath and
I think he knows his name.
firstborn child and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. Want it bigger? Is that good?
That should be all right.
Okay.
I, Gene Cannon, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Oregon, and the laws thereof, and the policies of Silver Falls School District. I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of school board member according to the best of my ability during the term of which I have been appointed.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You are,
You're official.
Thank you, Josh.
better or worse, you are one of us. Okay. Next up, being the July meeting, we'll have nominations for our board chair and vice chair. And how we'll work this is any of you can nominate anyone on the board for position of chair. There does not need to be a second. After nominations are filled, have any discussion that's warranted, and then I'll call for a vote, and each member will vote roll call fashion as far as who you are voting for. And then the same process will happen for vice chair. Any questions before we start? Okay. One thing I'd like to see us do is curve the tables so we're not.
Yeah, we can curve that a little bit for you. Sure.
So anyway.
No problem.
Okay, so nominations are open for board chair.
I'll nominate Phil for board chair.
What'd you say?
I'll nominate Phil Wiesner for board chair.
A lot of silence.
Any other nominations?
Are there any further nominations? I am willing. Any discussion? Okay.
I would, that I was nervous about, a little bit about this, but I just kept thinking, I think, Phil, you have done a good job. And going into this bond, going forward, think it's got to get this thing through. I think there's going to be a lot of extra duties probably over the next couple months, meetings and whatnot, and I think you'd be a great spokesman for that effort, Phil. I have no desire to ever fill that seat right now, nor the time, and nor, the meetings, and I'm not a social media guy. I know that it's upset quite a few people in the community, but I'm not going to engage in that as much, and I think you've done a better job about that than I have, so I'm in support of this nomination.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would echo that. Phil, you've done a great job as board chair. Your engagement is, second to none. You really lead by a good example. So headed into what could be a tough season of making case for kind of where we want to see the district. I think your leadership will guide us well. So I would support that nomination as well.
Thank you. Okay, we'll take a vote. Roll call.
Jean,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yes.
Wally,
Yes.
all in favor.
Okay, thank you, and I'm humbled, thank you. Now we need a vice chair, and so nominations are open for vice chair, same process.
I'd like to nominate Wally Learman for vice chair.
I would
Go ahead.
echo that as well. I think a change in board leadership. I think with some of us, our term will be up next year, and so I think having continuity of leadership is important. I think that was something that the previous board did, was start to think about like succession planning. And Wally, given your experience, I think you would step in that vice chair role well. You've obviously done it in the past, so I think Wally would be a great addition to our leadership team.
Thank you.
I'll also concur that it's great governance to have some rotation in the leadership roles and plan succession. And I do say that I understand why you do not want to keep going, because you are busier and busier with your family and your work, but you did a very good job.
Mhm.
And I hope that you'll be available to help us continue to do the evaluation of our superintendent, because you did an outstanding job, and you make it much easier for us non-professional management people to follow. So I really appreciate your work.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, Derek, I think this is just, you're a busy guy, and you got a busy life, and you've been just phenomenal. I think you'd be an awesome chairperson too, and I think that both of our lives are pretty busy, and I think we did have one conversation that's just, you got so much going on, but you could easily slip in that other seat or stay there. And you're absolutely right. I totally forgot about the importance of thinking about that next round. You're right, that the previous board did set that up really well. So I hope you know how much I love and appreciate you, and had nothing personal.
No,
Just
no,
that
thank you.
transition.
I would like to concur as concerning Derek not running, not being it. We'll still be working together on the board, but it was great working with you, having you as my vice chair. We've been through a lot. So, it was always comforting to know that you were there, and you were great to bounce off of, because we always didn't see everything the same, and we were able to bounce ideas back and forth and come to what we hoped was what needed to be. And so I appreciate that. So, and look forward to working with you, Wally, which will be great.
Yep.
Great experience, so that'll be great to pull from. There's no other nominations, any more discussion? Okay, take a vote.
Okay. Jean,
Yes.
Josh,
Yep.
Sarah,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yep.
Wally,
Yes.
all in favor.
Okay.
Congratulations.
on your temporary.
Wally's over to the other side.
Notice I put time temporary.
Do I get to hang out with Derek now?
Ooh.
Oh, we have to
And then
move?
he leaves a mess.
We have to move?
Go.
You're in the middle now.
It's weird. It's been, what, 2 years? That same middle?
Yeah.
You did an excellent job, Derek.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did.
beyond excellent.
I'm not going anywhere.
I know.
Down tables, sliding down the tables.
I'll still call you. I don't have problems.
Okay. Agenda review. I'll entertain a motion on it.
I move to approve the agenda as posted.
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve the agenda as posted. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, ayes have it. Entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
So moved?
I'll second.
It's been moved and second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Then we have the final read of the in-fund balance policy. Did anyone have any further discussion on that? We'll have it an action item later, but any further discussion on that?
I think that's actually in the consent, Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
my bad. Yep, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
As well as the
No,
designations.
Designations, yes. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Get to looking down here at all the numbers. Okay, public comment. Do we have any public comment here? Okay. Okay, if you wish to speak, please raise your hand. Go ahead and sit down to recognize the board chair. If attending remotely, please raise your hand, feature with Zoom. For the record, please provide your name and relationship to the district. Please keep individual remarks to 3 minutes. If speaking as a representative on behalf of a group of 3 or more, comment time will be extended to 5 minutes. A second public comment period will occur later in the meeting that is specific to discussion and action items only. Board will not hear complaints against individual district staff or board members during public comment. Please understand that board's primary role is to listen, and you'll likely not receive an immediate response. Finally, remember we all model the way of our students and ask that you share your thoughts respectfully in accordance with the Silver Falls School District Board Decorum Agreement. Go ahead.
I am Candace Ziegler. I am an instructional assistant 1 for the preschool. I am also the president of the union for classified staff.
Okay.
I'm Ron Duda, working in the maintenance department for the school district, and I'm past president for our classified chapter.
So you'll be speaking on behalf of the union then?
Yes.
So,
Correct.
So 5 minutes.
Okay. In the June 2026 board session, Superintendent Kellison made comments about the classified union bargaining for an insurance pool. She claimed it would be $600,000 cost to the district. This is a complete distortion of the facts. An insurance pool is created by the monies remaining when classified members opt out of district-provided insurance. Our original proposal to the district was to start with funding the pool by 50% of these opt-outs in the first year of the contract, 75% in the second year, and 100% in the last year. As a result, even if we agreed that it would cost the district the $600,000, the district claimed that amount would not be until the final year of the agreement. Furthermore, the $600,000 number is a made-up number, as we have no way of knowing the amount of classified staff that will opt out in 3 years. We have had many discussions during the bargaining caucuses about the possibility of having a much less costly option for the district to consider. These discussions have all been met with the false assertions that it would still cost $600,000 and that they don't want to do it, full stop. In addition, Mr. Andrews said that at the June 22nd board session that the money would be put into a pool so it could be spent on, quote, whatever the union sees fit. This is not only a dishonest statement, but we feel a statement made to directly deceive the board on the intention and benefit of an insurance pool. The money in this pool can only be used for things related to the high costs of healthcare. Things like offsetting out-of-pocket costs for our members, helping them buy up to a higher insurance plan without reducing their take-home pay, HSAs and HRAs. There was also a lot to say about how great of a benefit Silver Falls gives their employees and that you pay one of the highest insurance caps around. As has been pointed out in bargaining, both at the table and during caucuses, many of the places you are comparing your insurance cap to have insurance pools already. This is one of the benefits of having a pool. Over time, the district pays less in insurance caps. This point has been brought up repeatedly and has been ignored. We will close with some information to show you the true cost of the benefits your neighbors give to their employees in this handout. Did you want to hand that out now? Please feel free to look it over and reach out to us if you have any questions. We would also encourage more of the board members to attend bargaining meetings to get firsthand information. We want you to have full, actual information, not a version that suits an agenda. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? or presentation?
Not at this time.
I have
Time to
one,
look
just
over
out
this.
of curiosity. I always thought it was only allowed that there would be 2 board members only at that. I don't know if we're allowed, are we allowed to have, I mean, max would be 3, right?
Yeah, you can't
You
have
can't
a
have
quorum.
quorum.
Correct.
And I think this shows that, well, our monthly cap is higher than
Well,
95% of the districts that are listed here.
as an additional board member, would they be part of that caucusing as well or no? Just the 2 that were already on there? I mean, I'm just asking, just out of curiosity. Because that's the part that's not shown on the YouTube videos, because I do watch them. There's parts of it that's not on there. So, there's a lot more that goes on in those meetings than I'm able to see.
Right.
And so, it's not that I'm like disinterested. I just want to make sure we're not getting in trouble.
Yeah, you're missing all the caucus information that happens, and I would prefer to bargain with my employees and not just Hobie Williams, to be really honest. So all the side conversations that we're having in caucus, I'd rather just bargain straight with my employees than have my employees comment on what's happening in the district. And that is a $600,000 hit in year 3, and so that is a budget consideration because it's just a partial payment initially. So in the 3rd year of the contract, it would come into play as a $600,000 hit. So I'm not exaggerating. It just escalates over time, but there is 1 year in the contract that it is $600,000, so I was not lying.
I have a question. What is the opt-out amount? What does that represent? I apologize, I'm on the other end of insurance. I collect insurance payments.
So that would be the full insurance cap that the district pays. So at this point, it's $17.25.
Yeah, yeah.
And if someone opts out of
Okay.
getting the insurance from the district,
Okay.
I believe they are given $400.
I think it's 500.
Is
It's
it
500, that's not
Okay,
correct.
so the amount between that $500 and the $17.25 would be put into the pool.
Okay, that's what, okay, so the opt-out is the amount that the employee that opts out of the insurance coverage gets extra on his paycheck.
It
per
would be
month.
the difference between
Yeah.
what they get.
Well, that's the pool, but
That's-
but the opt-out amount is what they get on their
What the
paycheck.
employee gets.
It'd be
Correct.
1225, so like, if I'm
Sorry.
Yeah.
It
You
doesn't
go.
go in their paycheck. They have to
Okay.
use that, I'm assuming, for an HRA.
Okay.
The
so it's a health-
opt-out?
Okay.
With the opt-out, yes.
Where does the opt-out go? So
It goes to the employee.
directly on their paycheck, or does it go in the HSA account or HRA?
I think it goes
That's a-
directly to the employee, but none of us take it. I don't know. Let me
Yeah.
ask Marissa.
Yeah. I'm just curious, because I'm trying to understand these figures there, so I can
I can
make
look at the contract.
intelligent comments.
He said it goes into an HSA.
It does go to an HSA, okay. So that is like a retirement, or like a medical account.
Health
that
savings
It
account.
adds
So,
up,
okay,
yeah,
so
so you
yeah,
can use
okay.
it for other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a health savings
medicine or-
account or
yeah,
something.
it's a health savings
Whatever
account.
the format is, they're all about the same. They have different names, but they do the same. Okay.
Yeah, they keep that forever, yeah.
My only question is then, so what would the pool money be used for?
As I stated, the money in the pool can only be used for things related to the high cost of health care, such as offsetting pockets for our out-of-pocket costs for our members, helping them to buy up to a higher insurance plan without reducing their take-home pay, HSAs and HRAs.
So-
It's all related to health care.
So basically, it'd be redistributed to others that are taking insurance.
Yes, sir.
And also, if a person has an HSA, if they have an HSA plan, they can use that opt-out money also to put in their HSA account. Then also folks that do opt out, they would get a portion of that money also to keep them incentivized to
Everybody
stay
that-
opt-out.
Everybody that opts out automatically has an HSA account, correct?
They-
You have to have a high deductible plan to do that.
Yeah. The ones that opt out
Yeah.
have to have that going into some sort of plan.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, that
It's an
the people that
HRA,
opt out, that 400 or
not an
500 is
HSA.
going into an
Yeah.
account
Retirement.
Correct.
of theirs.
Yeah.
And so you're saying they could add to it with opt-out money from the pool?
From
They
the
would
pool.
get a small portion, yes.
And how would it be decided who gets what from the pool?
I think it depends how much is in the.
Yeah, it
in the
depends on
pool.
what's in the pool, but it would be proportionate.
Across the board.
So in other words,
I believe
whatever
so,
number
yes.
of people want it, it would be divided evenly? There wouldn't be somebody getting $500 and somebody getting $200?
No, not that my understanding, no.
No.
Well, it doesn't spell that out in what you gave us, so it doesn't specify that. And
No,
it gives, and the
yeah.
district has no discretion over how it's,
Well, we can certainly look at making it
Yeah, and
more clear.
each year, the amount would be different, depending on how many people opt out, change, or, whatever their.
And depending what's remaining in the pool.
And as far as
Yeah.
district concerned, cost-wise, it effectively would be the same as every employee. Whatever the amount is we delegate towards insurance, every employee, it'd be costing us that much for every employee in the district.
Yes, it would be as if every employee in the district were using the full 1725.
which is not what we budget on. So we budget on actuals. So
Right.
there's,
Yeah.
there's a percentage every year that
Right.
don't take it.
So it'd definitely be a cost increase to the district.
Yeah.
I have a technical question.
Yeah.
The plans that are offered to all the employees of the district, those are not negotiated by the school district, but negotiated by the ODE?
They're part of OEB's system,
Okay,
yeah, so
okay.
we're in a large group.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I will say we calculated the average cost for our employees, and out-of-pocket expense for insurance is about $53. So, and we have that information ready to share with
Yeah.
the union
Okay.
on our meeting on the 16th.
Okay.
So,
Thank you for the information.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Thank you.
we're limited in what we can
Yes.
say or do at this moment, but thank you for the
This,
information.
this was helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other public comment? Anyone online, public comment?
Daniel's
Hey.
not saying anything.
Kim, Superintendent's Report.
yeah, that was Daniel not. Okay, there we go. All right, so couple things this evening. So I'm going to go through my slideshow real quick, and then I'll come back to the levy rate analysis because that's not inside the slideshow. So let's see here. So just a few pictures up front. Things that we're going to talk about, the levy rate analysis. So that's Piper Sandler's analysis of our bond situation. And then just wanted to announce real quickly that Patrick Mulligan will become a permanent principal at Victor Point and Evergreen for next year. So we're removing his interim title. Elise is okay hanging out at the district office, she's decided. So both those employees will have their interim title removed, effective immediately. And then we have had some, that's really small text, sorry. You can read it in your packet, but Kathy Byer is coming to us. We're really excited about her. She's going to be the new principal at Silverton Middle School. And she's coming to us from the coast, so she's been serving in Lincoln County at Newport High School is her most recent experience. She's a Valley girl, though. She taught at McMinnville, another English teacher. So there's 3 of us in a row right here. Now, Kathy is an English teacher. She's really excited to be on board with us, and she's very energetic and very capable. And I noticed right off when we had the first meeting we had, she joined right in even before her start date, and was collaborating with high school team. So it was really cool to see her collaborative nature and her willingness to just join in and have fun with us. So, and we're really excited about having her on board. And she's already started, so she hit the ground running. So the first thing she did was she hired Mr. Taylor. And so this is Ryan Taylor, and he's our new assistant principal at the middle school. And he has a vast experience. He's originally from Colorado, and he went to Lewis and Clark's where he did his principal licensure. He's been in education about 24 years, and he was a coach and an administrator and a teacher. He's been a secondary administrator for about 4 years, so he has a good deal of experience. And he's also been an athletic director, which I think is one of the hardest roles in education. So you really earn your chops when you're an AD. There's a lot of things that go into that. So we're super excited to have him on board, and I think he's going to be a great partner for Kathy. Okay. So now let's see. So now we will go into.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely.
I heard that they were changing the mascot at the middle school.
We haven't really talked about that yet.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sometimes mascots are, they follow the high school mascot, but I don't think there's any talk of that right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so what you have in your packet is the levy rate analysis from Piper Sandler. So Piper Sandler does a lot of work with bonds throughout the state. And so they have analyzed our bond accounts, and I wish Tom was here because this is really Tom's specialty. What they have found is that if we do a replacement bond when the high school bond comes off in 2027, they initially thought we would have between 80 to 81 million in that initial analysis, but now they're saying it's closer to 87. So that's great news for the district. It means there would be some additional funds for contingency and other projects as identified by the capital improvement project. So they're saying it's going to be closer to 87 million. So that's just an update for you on that. Any questions on that?
No, that's
No. Good news?
good news.
Yeah. The next thing I have for you is an estimate for an ADA compliance ramp at Robert Frost. So Robert Frost has some students that have high needs, and we've decided that it would be good to have a really good entrance to the building that works for everyone and that is ADA compliant. And so the PTC approached us about putting that improvement in, but we really thought that was the responsibility of the district and not a PTC type of project. So I went ahead and had Jeff Alderman try to get 3 bids. We really only received this 1 bid from Evans Valley, even though we reached out to other contractors. And so they are busy getting ready to hit the ground running, and their bid is $55,000 for the ramp. And so we think, and we also will adjust some parking spots to move closer to the ramp so that the handicap parking is more accessible for families there. So I think this is a really great upgrade in that building and shows the district's commitment to improving ADA accessibility throughout the district.
Are they going to put it next to the main entrance there?
Yes, it is near the main entrance. Yeah, the handicap access right now is on the same side where all the deliveries are and where food service goes in and out, and that's just a really congested area. So this brings it back to the front of the building where there's less interaction with trucks and deliveries and that type of thing. Yeah, that was not a great spot for it, so this is a much better spot.
Before we go any further, email introductions we've had, but introductions, unless I missed it, Spencer?
Yeah, we're gonna do that last.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
okay,
actually, yeah.
okay, I was just going
Yeah, I
by the
didn't miss
agenda
it,
where
yeah.
it was, is why I
I
was
didn't
asking.
miss it,
Didn't
yeah.
want it forgotten.
No, I just, I did all the business part first. Yeah, so I'm gonna let Vicky and Spencer introduce themselves since they're here in person, instead of me butchering it up like I did with Kathy and Ryan. So Vicky, you wanna go first?
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to work with some of you pretty closely through bargaining with the licensed union, and I'm just running across you in town. So I don't feel like I'm as new anymore, which is weird because I've only been on the job for about 10 weeks. But I think that's what I would say as a newcomer is how overwhelmingly welcomed I feel, and how seamless it's been for me just to jump in. I spent 28 years, my entire career in one district. So to move relatively late in my career felt like a little insane to do that. And I was, quite frankly, a little nervous about, like, am I going to know what to do in a new district? Well, as it turns out, kids are the same no matter where you go. And the people who work with kids for a living are pretty much the same. You can just bet on some shared core values. And I have thoroughly enjoyed just jumping in. Kim and Elise surround me. Literally, if you know where my office is situated, they're on either side of me. And so they've kept me in line and answered my questions very easily. And it's been super rewarding to come in and feel like I'm able to immediately have some impact, immediately take some things off Kim's plate.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
And just dive into systems that are pretty well established that also, I just get to put my own little spin and flair on. So thank you. I'm super happy to be here. Definitely is the right fit for me right now.
Yeah, so nice to meet you guys. I have not met you yet. Spencer McEwen. I come to you guys more recently from Oregon Trail and Estacada School Districts, where I spent about 8 years. Before that, I was working in Portland Public Schools. So I've had a diverse, I would say, background in education. I've taught kindergarten, 5th grade. I've been at TOSA, and then I've been in student services for the last 3 or 4 years. I've been a principal also. So yeah, that's my background. Super happy to be here and work with you guys.
Well, welcome to you both. Okay. Graduation Alliance.
Yeah, we've got some guests with us tonight. Todd Squared, come on up.
Good evening. My name is Todd Perushkin. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer for Graduation Alliance. This is Todd Dahlstead, who is our Managing Director for Oregon and Washington. I've been with Graduation Alliance for about 2 years now. I was a former superintendent, assistant superintendent in Pennsylvania, high school principal, and years ago, a physics and math teacher. So excited to work with school districts all across the country around kids who are struggling. And we're excited to kind of share a little bit with you today and an idea that we have with you. I also want to thank you. We've been actually working with your district for 10 years now, a decade, with dropout recovery, and then I think there was tiered services for a little while, and then we're also doing dropout recovery again, where we just had one student that graduated through our program, and we have 2 additional students in the program. Thank you. So thank you for your trust over a decade. Graduation Alliance has been around for over 20 years. We don't operate in every state. Our goal is to keep this cost neutral or cost positive for school districts. So our number one goal is to partner with school districts, help kids who are at risk or who want a virtual option, and provide funding back to the school district in return. So go over the third-party validations. Even though we've been working with you for a decade, I think that validates a lot of our work. We are a Cognia-approved company with curriculum. Our Curriculum Matters is scored extremely high. And then mission measurement back in 2021 had us ranked as the national benchmark for dropout recovery. So kids who've dropped out of high school or about to drop out who want a virtual option, we are ranked one of the top in the country. What we do really well is that we are data driven. So we look at all of our students, how well they're doing, put different interventions in place, very similar to what a regular school district does. We're also really good at engaging kids, and finding kids. So when when school districts give us students who've dropped out of high school, we have enrollment counselors, over 200 and some enrollment counselors that reach out to find grandma, find aunt, find uncle, find where the student lives, and be able to get that data back to districts, but also try to get that kid back into schools. And then we're always looking to expand any way we can to help support districts. So with working with you for a decade, it's kind of been flowing a little bit, where it was dropout recovery initially, then you wanted our courses for curriculum-wise, and then we're doing a little bit more dropout now in the last year or so with you. So our goal is to look at the needs of school districts and be able to support and partner with school districts. What our program is, and it's a lot different than any other program out there, is we give the student 360-degree support. We put the student at the center. Every student gets an academic coach. We provide laptops for students. We provide the Wi-Fi for students. We provide 24/7 tutor. While we're all sleeping, probably tonight, students are logging on at 1 o'clock in the morning, asking the tutor certain questions. Pretty amazing. We have a local advocate that helps supports the students along the way, and we have state-certified teachers. So we put all these things in place to make sure students are successful. This program is asynchronous, so the students are learning through a computer, but they have an academic coach that's checking in with them on a weekly basis. If students aren't logging in and not doing what they're supposed to be doing, we put different interventions in place, and academic coaches are reaching out to those kiddos. So really putting the kids at the center. That's what we've been doing for almost 20 years now across the country.
Does the advocate meet directly with them, or is it on
It can be online. It could be, they've connected at a Starbucks, those kind of things,
Good.
local coffee
Just
shops,
face-to-face.
connecting with the kids, yes. What's interesting though, and that question comes up a lot, and some of these kids are working. Some of the kids are providing for their family. Some are so sometimes those in-person meetups aren't really, they don't attend that often, just to be honest with you. We offer that to them, but they'll attend virtually, and the world's changing, we know that, but we want to reach out to kids and make sure they're successful. So the dropout recovery, dropout prevention, and virtual options is really, looking at students that are eligible regarding that piece, trying to get back funding. So these students have dropped out or about to drop off. You're not getting any funding for the kids who've dropped out, or about to drop out, you're not getting any funding for those students. So we re-engage them, we re-enroll them back in your school district, and that triggers state and federal dollars, and we take a percentage of that. But we do all the work. We give the kids a laptop, the state-certified teachers, the academic coaches, all those things we support. Your IT department doesn't support our laptops. We do all that work. We don't want to be a heavy lift for school districts. We just want to partner and help as many kids as possible. And again, our goal is, within this district, it is actually cost positive, and I'll go over that in a second. So what we want to talk about just real quick is open enrollment in Oregon, and we talked with the superintendent and just to talk about what that could look like for your district. And if we had 100 students that we found in Oregon that would want to enroll in your district, all virtually online, and that percentage would be about 24% that you would keep for just state funding, and any federal dollars that you would get, you would keep. If you had 100 kids on day one, it would bring around $280,000 per year, every year, to the district for just 100 kids. If you wanted more than that, you naturally would increase. 500 kids would be bringing around a little over $1 million in revenue each year. And we would do all that work. We would market. We do this in other states. We do this in the state of Washington. Todd leads several districts, and one particular, Everett in Washington. And we have, I think, almost over 200 kids in that program.
350-ish.
Oh, 350 now, okay. 350 kids that are bringing additional revenue into the district. We do this in Michigan, we do this in New Mexico, and other states. So we wanted to approach our long-term partners and throw this idea out there at you. I met with the superintendent back in the fall and wanted to bring this to your attention. I don't know, Kim, if you wanted to say anything more.
It's just an interesting concept. We're always trying to find options for kids and give them, what they need to be successful. And this is a program that, helps kids get across the finish line. It's a pretty cool program.
And we're not a program that just you've never heard of us before. We've been working with the district, and hopefully you haven't heard about us that much, because we want to be that person behind the curtain, just helping kids, supporting your district, supporting your administrators. But it is an opportunity here in Oregon that could generate additional revenue for you. As a former superintendent in Pennsylvania, I didn't have these opportunities to bring additional revenue in like this. So again, we could start small at 100 kids, see what that would look like, and reevaluate. Initially, that's what we did in Everett. We did it right at 100 kids, and once we hit 100, we kind of reevaluated it, and then Everett said, let's keep going, because of the funding, because of helping kids across the Washington, but here in Oregon. So, any questions? I know I'm going through this fast.
I have a question.
I
Would
have a
that
bunch.
cross over with our hybrid program that
Thank
we
you.
are developing?
Sequoia Falls, isn't that what they're there for already?
The Grad Alliance does some programming through Sequoia Falls, so if kids need an online class in that program, that's what they use, is Grad Alliance, yes.
Okay.
But that program is kind of more specific to kids that want to be in the building some, plus take some online instruction, and sometimes we credit things that they're doing outside the building, work studies, different things. So it's kind of a combination. It's not a purely online option. So this option is purely online. So it's
This
not
would be an
it's
additional
not a
option.
hybrid. Yeah, it is an additional option. Yeah.
What's the pool of kids that you're pulling from?
We would market that across Oregon, and again, these students would not come here to your district. It would be all
Okay.
virtually.
So a student in
Okay.
Pendleton could
Okay,
be signed up, but
okay.
technically filtered through Silver Falls.
Yes, and the state funding would go to you,
Now we're talking.
I see.
and any federal dollars you keep, all of those.
So it's like a virtual
Charter school.
charter school,
Yeah, similar, very
but
similar.
with a better percentage.
Well,
Yeah.
so okay, so now I'm
That's funny.
understanding. First of all, I was gonna be pretty defensive if it was just our district kids. And
No,
so,
we-
because
we
we've
don't
already
have
got
that
some of
many.
those programs, and I was looking at the percentages and how it worked, I'm like, okay, I'm not seeing this being a big win. Massive win if we start thinking outside the box, opening up, but see, if going to this charter program, yes, it helps us with enrollment, but it's really nothing to do with us. Like, not our mission statement, none of that. It's not our district vision. It's going to be these guys' vision, correct?
Yeah, it is kind of their own thing, but it would impact our district grad rate. So that's the one thing I want you to be mindful of, is that anytime you have a secondary program, that does impact your
Which
district.
would boost our ADM ratings. Would boost our ratios for our ADMR, right? That's
No,
why
that doesn't do anything to our ADM.
Then what does it matter with demographics?
Our graduation rate?
Oh, well, but demographics, I was thinking about typically male, female, gender, ethnicity, not graduation rates. But you're saying, of course, it would help our rates for graduation. I see what you're saying on
Well,
that.
it could affect your graduation
It could
rate.
affect our
Yes.
graduation
Not
rate,
necessarily
not
positive.
necessarily help.
Yes.
Yeah, because ours are
Oh.
already really high, so.
So
I
if
don't
they
know,
drop out, is what you're saying, out of the program, it could negatively affect us?
It could, yes, yes. But, I mean, they could probably speak to how that
What
happened, what happened
kind
in
of data
Everett.
do you have from like Everett on that?
Yeah, Everett,
We've been there for a year, so I haven't pulled any of the actual graduation numbers, but historically, we've worked with that district for 12 years, and they've actually are one of the top performing open doors programs in the state. So yeah, 70% of the kids are going to have a successful outcome.
keep in mind too, from our company, if a kid doesn't do something for that month, we actually don't invoice the district for that student. So you're collecting that state funding for that student. So we're paid by performance. So we put everything in our power. And as a former school administrator, we do everything we can to put any interventions we can to help make sure those kids are successful. So, and again, we have a great track record here, even in the last 10 years of helping kids and helping your district. So. One suggestion I would have is just starting small with 100 kids and seeing we could go over the financials with you, showing you how much money you're bringing in, and going over the data of how well the kids are, what success rate is, and trying it. Again, we're only looking for just a couple partners in Oregon. We're not going to all of our partners. We're just looking at basically 2 or 3 partners that we've been working with for a long time to give this opportunity to. We have 5 districts in the state of Michigan that we work closely with. The one district superintendent, he puts a preschool in program. He uses the money that he's generating from the open enrollment to fund his entire preschool program. So superintendents are being, and boards are being very creative on how they're utilizing this additional revenue. And again, we want this to be an easy lift for all of you. We want to do all the work for you and be able to support those kids and be successful.
How are the students identified? How would you track them down?
Well, we would market, so we would go on Facebook, TikTok, all those things that, trying to find the kiddos, and then we don't just put them in the program. You would approve every kid coming into the program. We would work with an administrator within the district to approve the students in the program, and then we constantly monitor them on a daily, weekly basis of how well they're doing and the success rate.
Why would they choose this over a charter, state charter system?
I think the reputation you have as a district, I mean, it's incredible, and I think that they would love to have an opportunity for that quality education.
And can you speak to your fee schedule?
Excuse me?
Your fee schedule, can you speak to that?
Yeah, so 100 kids, it's up there right now.
Yeah,
So
right
100
there.
kids would be 24% you would keep, we would keep 76. So it would be a 24% split. So, but again, we're supplying the laptop, the Wi-Fi, the teachers, the 24/7 tutor, the virtual. So you would keep 24% of the ADM. It's around $2,800 per student. So if you times that by 100, it's about $280,000 just with 100 students. Roughly, I'm giving you napkin math right now.
So I like to break things down as simple as possible. So very simply speaking, plus side, additional revenue to us, and hopefully, not necessarily our district, but some kids are getting help and graduate. Potential downside could affect our graduation rate, which would have some ramifications with ODE, and get connected to funding.
What's the timeline on this, decision-wise? What are we thinking?
Well, I just wanted to I introduced it to you a couple months ago, and you asked for me to bring them back.
Right.
And Beth was supposed to come last month, but then she got really sick. So Todd and Todd are here this evening. I don't know what their time frame is. We would like to talk about it as a district leadership team a little bit more. Elise had some questions, and I have some further questions, like, what constitutes like adequate student progress? Like, how do you track that? Is it just engagement, or is it actual production? Like, and what does that look like? We have some different questions that we'd like to send.
I personally, I think it would be worthwhile investigating, and I put faith in you guys coming up with, whether, overused term, but whether the juice is worth the squeeze.
Yeah.
Because there are some risks, but we don't want to thumb our nose at potential revenue, and we know that those opportunities don't come along every day either.
Right.
What about state testing?
We do all that. We have a director of assessment. We create a proctor network. They go and do the state assessment. Again, we don't want this to be a heavy lift on your team at all. We want to be able to handle all that. And every district that started with our program, they've all wanted to start slow with 100 kids, see how it goes, evaluate it, look at the finance, look how it could affect any type of data that you have, but every one of them has continued to grow the program. Students are making decisions shortly to go back to school. So that's the only thing I would strongly suggest is, in the next month or so, that we would, either make a decision or we would go to a different district.
I mean, as a concept, I like the idea of you guys trying to find those kids that are on the margins. I don't want to be a revenue grab like that. Yeah, that's great, but that's not really what interests me necessarily. Is trying to find those kids on the margins. for our leadership team, I think the capacity thing is probably what I'm most concerned about. We've got a lot.
About the acceptance of kids in. That's
Yeah.
gonna take somebody.
And I appreciate you. It sounds like you guys have it, pretty well in hand, and that's limited, but there would be some work at the district level, so I'm really cautious about what the capacity would look like. So, but as far as a concept, it sounds,
That's interesting.
really interesting.
You know, from a workflow perspective, it's such a great point, and we work with districts where they give us access to just their student information system, just a container that we can just see those kids and nobody else. We've done things where we're using, digital, creating digital copies of paper. And so, like, we have a wide range
Yeah.
of ways that we can help the workflow, so it's not a heavy lift on your administrator. And as a former administrator, they're juggling a million other things, and we want to make sure, and that's why, Todd, just a couple hours away, would be here often to help support your team, so.
So I have a question. So out of let's say we just go with 100 students to start off with, how many of those do you estimate, because you've got some experience from our district, our actual physical regional?
I think we've done a really good job of already identifying your kids who are at risk or dropped out already and re-engaging them. So we got one graduate this year from one of your dropouts, and then we have 2 more in our program.
Okay.
It's always been
So it'd be
smaller
a
number
very small
here.
amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is more out of district, bringing, students in, and again, all virtual.
It might also allow us to, you can put a cap on your outgoing charter school online kiddos at 3% if you have 2 options for them. So we have one option with a hybrid online program, but this would create a second option for our kids, and then they wouldn't end up going to other online charters. So right now, I have no ability to utilize the cap because I have to have 2 options according to ODE.
If we down the road decide to move forward with this, is it a contract, like it's a 3-year contract, you're locked in, or we assess after year 1, or like, yeah, it was great,
Our
or?
contractor normally just a 1-year
Okay.
auto renew if you decide you want out, yes. And you're approving these kids. So, we find them, we go through the documents and enrolling them, but you approve them. So at some point you could just say, let's say at 90, we're gonna stop at 90, even though we said 100, like, there's no, we work closely with districts, so.
And these are kids that come to you, right? You guys put out an advertisement. So, it sounds to me like it's kids that want to graduate, that need that avenue. So I do like that side of it.
All of our open enrollment, you're exactly right. The graduation rate, the credit earn rate each month that we constantly look at, if a kid needs it, some of these stories that break your heart, they need 3 credits. 3 credits to graduate. And so, but when they sign up, they're motivated. In every state that we work in, the percentage is high of kids that are earning credit per month in the graduation because they want to change their life.
So what's our option there? Like, I think obviously you guys have to have some discussion between you guys.
Yeah, we have a big list of questions
Yeah.
going over here.
So
Well, would it be fair to expect for you guys to have a recommendation one way or the other for us
at the
for
work
the
session
August meeting?
or the work session?
Yeah, I don't think we're having a work session.
have a work session
No, I don't think so. I think this is something that we can talk about as a cabinet and then email you guys kind of what we are finding. I mean, I have a couple of questions like, when a student drops out in Oregon, their number is recorded in ODE's system as a drop for whatever district they dropped from. If you pick them back up, I'm assuming they stay a dropout. I'm assuming their dropout data stays with the original district?
Yes, unless
It
they
does.
dropped out from this program.
Unless
then
they drop
on
a
you.
second time and
Yes.
then you take over.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That was one of our questions. So there's a lot of math things that go with this. So, yeah, and maybe we'll get you guys on a conference call and
I'm happy to come back down anytime. I
Okay.
just live just on the other side of the border.
you're close. Okay, all right.
This point, we'll hand over to
Yeah,
you
punt to
guys.
us. Yeah, it
I
sounds
find
good.
it interesting. Right now I see it
Yeah.
helping kids
Yeah.
and it's not costing us anything. I think it's
Yeah, and I don't,
At
I mean,
least
this,
for 1 year.
For
Which is
pilot.
unusual that it's not
Yeah.
costing you anything.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
In education, absolutely.
this is one of those things for me, it's like your first or your last. I don't really want to wait too long, you
Right.
know? Because there's kids, you know, those kids are going to go, the ones that are going to do it are going to do it regardless. They're going to do it in our district or they're going to go to a different one. I mean, the ones that are already on those margins in this program that you guys are going to hunt and try to go identify, that could possibly be here, or they're not. So I'm just really interested in this.
Especially if they're motivated. That's
Exactly.
great.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a student walk back into the high school and all he was missing was a half a credit of math. And so, you know, I mean, he had the bravery to walk back into, this is when I was an assistant principal, walk back in and say, hey, can you help me? But a lot of kids have a hard time doing that. And so this type of system works better for kids that don't have that type of courage where they can walk in and say, hey, I need help. But yeah, you got to kind of search them out a little bit. Okay, we're going to talk Wednesday in
Got
cabinet.
plenty of direction then?
Yep, we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
both.
having
Yeah,
us.
Thank you.
guys.
Great program.
Thank you, Todd and Todd.
Thank you.
And thank you for
What you guys do.
offering it to us.
I'll take it.
Oh, Lisa's up.
Thank you.
Okay, end of year data, Elise.
I feel like I get to talk at every board meeting. It's so
I was
exciting.
gonna say, gonna name you Miss
Um,
PowerPoint.
So this is our end of year K-8 data. We shared mid-year, and so now it's end of year. So now we want to show you what we've done. So kind of just a quick overview. We have a district instructional leadership team that we meet once a month. And so we're kind of where we're brainstorming and hashing things out. So some of the things that we've come to this year was we have some K-5 common expectations across the district. So it's not like this school does this and this school does this. We're all aligning. And then some celebrations is our K-5 math proficiency overall increased 38% from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. The kinder reading increased 46%. First grade reading went up 20%, and fifth grade reading exceeding expectations went up 23% from fall to the end of the year. So this is just an overview of all the assessments that we do, when we do them, and what they are. There is now a requirement to have those interim assessments and ODE approved specific vendors for assessments, and Renaissance Star was one of them. We already have been doing it, so it's great that we don't have to transition to something new where a lot of districts are. So I just starred those so that you knew what they were. So those are required, and they do use that data for some accountability reporting.
And the iReady works for the math too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so is STAR.
So you don't have to do that.
Yeah. So some accomplishments, we have been able to do core review meetings in all of the K-5, K-8 buildings. So that's where the team of teachers, principal, whoever is in those meetings sit down and they look at their kids as a whole, and they look at the core instruction, so what's being taught in the classroom, and make any adjustments to their instruction as a whole that need to be made to help meet the needs. We have some schools that have piloted intervention meetings, so that's where they're looking at kind of the 20% kiddos that aren't quite getting it and making plans of how they can help them. If there's 5 kids that need help with this skill, we're going to clump them together, put them here, serve them here. Once they've met it, out they go. If they still need an intervention, switch them to something else. If not, great, they don't need that anymore. And we have one school that's piloted what's called a database intervention meeting, a DBI. So that's where they look at one kid, and they look at all the data, not just the number data, but also the qualitative data, like what's going on at home, or do they need glasses, or all of the, what's their attendance, like all of these things to help make an individualized plan for that kid. And then they meet, they review, they progress monitors to see what changes need to be made. And so we do have a school that's piloted that. We're currently part of Oregon RTI, Cadre 12, but they are allowing us to rejoin as Cadre 13. So we're going to go through the process again. We didn't quite get through the whole process that we would have hoped to do. We've had some things happen in the last couple years that have made challenges for us to just kind of go through the whole entire Cadre program. And so They've allowed us to join Cadre 13, so kind of starting over, but really not. We're kind of ahead of the game on some things. But this will give us the opportunity to really review what we've done, make any tweaks, and then continue to move forward with these intervention meetings and database intervention at all of our other sites.
Can you explain the difference between cadre 12 and 13, what that means?
Yeah, so when you join Oregon RTI, you're put into a cadre. So we were cadre 12, I think it is, where we technically joined them 3 years ago. And you're put into this cadre with all other districts who joined that same year. You go through these trainings together, and they kind of help us collaborate with each other. And so year 1 you do this, year 2 you do this, and so on and so forth. So we've joined as cadre 13. Does that help answer your question?
It does.
Okay. And then some other accomplishments that we have are we're just kind of what I talked about before. We're really making some district agreements. Leadership are really sitting down and looking at those, and those happen at our district leadership meetings where we have teachers, we have instructional assistants. So it's not just a top-down decision. We have voices at the table who are helping us make those. Some challenges that we've had, because every district has challenges, is we've had change in staff. We've also had admin changes in staff. We had a lot of secondary principals who are now at elementary schools. So it's a lot of reviewing the systems, collaboration, professional development that's needed. We implemented a new curriculum this year, so some PD around that. We've also come to find that we have varying curriculum that's happening around the district, so really working on communication around expectations of using the district-provided curriculum. It's research-based. We provided training around it, and so really just kind of working on some of those things. Let's look at the data. I think you've had a chance to look at this, so I might go fast, but you could stop me if you want. So this is Dibbles. This is one of the data points that we use, and this is just K-5, beginning, middle, and end. It's all the buildings combined. And then I thought I would just give you a comparison of last year to this year. It's always kind of nice to have a where were we, where are we now. And then the K2 population, I wanted to break it up. So you can see kinders have grown quite a bit, like what we talked about, and so has first and second. So that top bar is the beginning of the year, and then the third one is end of the year. And then just the comparison of last year. The one thing to really think about when you're looking at last year's data to this year's data is look at last year's kindergartners to this year's first graders, because that's the same cohort of kids. So not kindergarten to kindergarten, but kindergarten to first grade. And then this is 3rd through 5th grade. If I'm going too fast again, stop me, but I think you guys might have had a chance to look at this.
Yeah.
And then comparing last year's to this year. I'm gonna share a personal little tidbit. In looking at this data, I noticed our 4th grade it seemed off. Like it didn't make the growth like I had kind of hoped it would. And I will share personally, my daughter, also her scores, they do STAR and iReady, and her actual reading score from fall to the end of the year went down. I don't know why, but her OSAS scores are 4s. So there's something weird with the 4th grade assessment, I would guess. That doesn't, I don't know. It's something I plan to look into, just because, as I have a now 5th grade daughter, oh my gosh. Sorry. It was kind of weird to see her district scores go down, but her state scores so high. Yeah. So it's
well,
the teachers
one thing I
mentioned it, too.
noticed I'm sure you're like me when you get to looking at it, pretty soon you see stars, but looking at those and trying to compare one class, same kids.
Yeah.
Different years
Over
and
time,
everything.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be real simplistic here, but when putting it all together, looking at all of it, it looked like there was a stall out in 3rd and 4th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You'd expect great growth in kindergarten.
Yes.
There was good growth in 1st grade, and then started slowing down in 2nd, and then 3rd and 4th almost just came to a stall out, and then 5th grade another big jump. And so I didn't have an answer, I had a question. What's
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
about?
and well, in third grade, they start transitioning into instead of learning to read, they're reading to learn.
Right.
Which is a different skill, and sometimes the instruction is a little bit different than how it's been in K2. I would attribute it possibly to that.
I think,
Yeah, I'm sorry. As a past standardized testing expert, I would tell you that has nothing to do with our district, but with their tool. Because
Yes.
if you are evaluating third and fourth grader, and you know what you just said now, then you should evaluate on a different level. Because if you're doing a good psychometric analysis of your testing, you should know exactly what's going to happen. And what you're running then is you're running the district against what it's supposed to be and making sure you can identify the lacking. I would say if I'm looking at that, their tool is lacking during these 2 grades.
Yeah, possibly.
Because that's impossible that almost no one improves. Especially if then you mix it up with the story of your daughter, which I'm sure is not uncommon, where her score didn't go up or even went down, but yet her state assessment went up. So obviously, maybe that needs to be discussed with those people at STAR.
Yeah, well, I've been in lots of communication with STAR. And so that's why it's also important that we look at multiple data points, not just dibbles. We also look at other things too. So it's just one data point, but it is interesting to look at where those things fall. So
And this year-end, summary is part of the new accountability measures, so that was passed with Senate Bill 141. So this will be a yearly thing for you guys.
you get to hear from me 3 times a year at least. We wanted to share just some extra special highlights that really have worked. Not that our schools haven't, but these ones have really, I think if you walk into their buildings, you just kind of, you feel it. I don't know how else to describe it, but you walk in and you feel it. And so Robert Frost has really dived in. At the very beginning when we joined Oregon RTI, we're assigned a coach. And every year they're like, Sharon, come to this meeting. Sharon's our coach. And they have had her come, and she has a wealth of knowledge that has really helped them. And so this is just some of the growth that they have. And so comparing where they are and where they're going. So you can see their kinders from last spring to this spring. You can just see that, yes, we expect kinders to make growth, but you can just see the difference. And then their second grade as well. So it's there's some things happening there that are very special.
But then look at the
Oh, I know.
the second grade.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
I did ask Taryn, I said, I noticed that your first grade at the end of the year last year was 67, and she's like, I don't know, it's a weird number, and then get to this year. It's those weird things that we just kind of have to track along the way and see what
But
happens.
48 is not a sample number that cannot be skewed by a certain group of kids that maybe are,
Yeah. And then 3rd through 5th grade, we saw they've seen quite a big jump in those grades. Again, the 4th grade, I don't know. It's one of those things we're gonna have to track. Again, my daughter, her scores, it was weird too. So, and then Scotts Mills, again, most of the principals there are fairly recent, haven't been there a year or 2. And so this was kind of their data from last year to this year. And then kind of, again, looking at beginning of the year to the end of the year, and then end of year last year to the end of year this year.
Wow, no kindergarten in the red at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's unusual to
for
see
first
that
grade.
line without any
with
red.
no red.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's
no
very
red at the
unusual.
end of the year this year for kinders, and they started at 72. So that's a lot of growth for that group.
Yeah.
Again, just some celebrations, extra ones we wanted to really highlight, and then the 3rd through 5th grade. So STAR again is another data point. This is one that's approved by the state as an interim assessment, and so of course, every assessment gives us different graphs. That's great. So just keep in mind that for the early lit, the K through 1 assessment, green is at or above, and blue is on watch. Typically, when we look at these, blue is above grade level. Theirs is a little different for this, just this one test. So again, across the district, you can see where we're at. And then comparing, again, you should have multiple data points. So comparing Dibbles to Star. Dibbles is at the top and Star is at the bottom. For the most part, they are pretty close. So, and then this is just the growth that they've made. So not only do we want to celebrate how many kids are proficient, but how much growth our students are making. So I also wanted to make sure and highlight that for you guys as well. And then 2nd through 5th grade. So then this is where the colors change. The green is level 4, the above, and the blue is grade level of, on grade level at 3. So just, I don't know why they do it that way, but they do.
Keep you on your toes.
Yes, they do. And then again, the growth for students as well. And then all the data, Dibbles versus Star for you to look at. Again, pretty similar. And then middle school also uses Star. They've been using Star for quite a while. So we do have a few years worth of data. And then this is all of last year compared to this year. So keep in mind, this is only for kids that are currently enrolled in what their grade is. So the data's a little wonky, but something Star is working on fixing. And then our OSAS data, I went into the state testing portal and I pulled the data. And what's interesting is when I pulled this a month ago and then I double checked it within the last week, some of them changed by 1%. I don't know how because testing's been done for quite some time, but
Interesting.
apparently some numbers might change, but not a lot, but just a little. So this could be a little confusing, so I want to kind of explain. So the grade level is that left-hand column and then scores 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the grade columns, those are last year's scores, and then non-grade are this year's. I just wanted to kind of give you a what was last year to what was this year. So keep in mind we don't start state testing until 3rd grade, so there's nothing for K through 2. And then I made it extra complicated, and because I like data, and I wanted to show you what the state score was versus our district score. So our district is in the orange, and then the state score is not colored. And again, last year's data and this year's data. So if you're a data nerd like me, we like to look at these things.
I understand there's a treatment program for that.
Is there? Tell me where to sign up. And then our middle school, 6 through 8. Again, this is just last year versus this year, and then I'm crazy and I threw in the state data too. So these are something that we track internally, but now with the accountability, we'll also be tracking this a little bit more. Working on a big giant sheet as we speak for the reporting on this. So then again, just comparing all the things, STAR to the OSAS. The OSAS is on the left and STAR is on the right. Pretty similar. And then Dibbles to the state scores. And then for the middle school. And then Robert Frost students made a really cute little video. I don't know if Daniel has to click this or if I click the next button. Daniel's gonna do it.
95%. 95%. 95% is sun. 95%. 95%. We love 95%.
That's great. Love it.
So 95%
That's so
is the
great.
curriculum that we purchased for our 3rd through 5th graders to use this year that have really helped kind of make some growth. Thank you, Daniel. And then we're going to look at math really fast. So math, we use iReady. Like Kim said, it is approved by the state as an interim assessment. So you can, again, a different graph. It's so fun. So this is comparing the spring overall, and then at the bottom is spring versus fall. So spring is on that top, and fall is on the bottom. And then I don't know why you can't look at all 3 at once. I'll have to play with it more to figure it out. So you have 4 different graphs there, but the middle one's the same. And then spring this year to spring last year. It's pretty close, pretty similar. Man, that's really small from here. And then grade levels broken down for the spring assessment scores. So you'll see there's, the kinder did really well. There's no red there.
That is impressive.
So we like to see that. Oh. Okay. And then fall versus spring. I'm gonna go quick because I know you've already looked at this. And then STAR is the middle school math test that we use. This one I broke up in each grade level for you. And then comparing last year to this year. 7th grade for math. Comparing last year to this year. And then 8th grade, final ones. And then overall, 6th through 8th grade as a whole for this school year. And then last year to this year. Am I going too fast? Okay. And then the state math scores. So again, it's kind of like what I did for reading. Last year's are grade, this year's are not. And then comparing to the state level as well. So we are typically above the state level in most of the areas. And the middle school ones. And then you're just comparing the state data to all the other data points that we have. So many slides. Tom told me to keep this under 2 hours.
Good
I
job.
bet you love statistics.
Tom's not here to regulate.
Tom's not here, right? So next steps for us is, again, we're rejoining Oregon RTI, Oregon Response to Intervention and Instruction. We're really focusing this year on instructional strategies within the classroom. So we're really looking at utilizing engagement strategies, sentence frames, explicit vocab, and more student talk. The person who's doing the talking is doing the learning. So that's really going to be kind of our instructional focus this year, are those main things. And so kind of rolling those out, providing professional development. We have already started a big virtual database of resources that staff can utilize for those things to see what they look like, and kind of just, the goal is they look at it and they're like, oh, I can do it, and then just run with it. And when we're doing our admin meetings, we're also integrating these instructional strategies with our admin, so they get to be kind of like students and do these strategies while also learning about all the other things. Professional development, we have 2 PD days built into this next year's calendar. So we're really going to look at utilizing our in-house staff to help provide those PDs, really find the rock stars that can lead on ways they're using student engagement, student talk, explicit vocab, because we have amazing teachers here, and let's use them. And then we're going to continue to review data. All the buildings look at data quite frequently, and so just really using that to drive where we're going next. And so looking at the data, we saw we needed some more things around vocab, student talking, and just the benefits that those provide. And then really just refining the systems that we have and making any tweaks to meet what our kids need. Questions?
Yeah, you showed a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
You have goals.
Like overall goals. That's actually what I'm working on right now. Goals for anything and everything. So really, I mean, we have overarching goals, but each building kind of makes their own goals too.
So a target there we're going to try to reach, and
Yeah.
And we have, yeah, we have, we're part of a tier too. So we're like a group. So they grouped us with like districts. And so those districts, as part of the accountability measures, will have to specify targets for some of these things that.
And I'll report to you on those throughout the year.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting process.
And does the data play a pretty decent sized role in driving what,
Yes.
you know, where you
Yes.
look and what you look at?
Yep.
Yeah,
Because there's
huge
a lot
one.
of data there.
There's a lot.
And
It's a lot of data, yeah.
as they always say about data, you can prove whatever you want, same number, but as far as trying to come to some consensus as far as what's working, what's not.
Yeah.
my experience is if you don't have a target, you tend to languish a little bit, so.
Yeah, we also have targets in the strategic plan, so all these things will align.
They all go together.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Well, Tom's not here. Was anybody designated to talk about Tom's numbers, or are we
Yeah,
just gonna look at Tom's numbers? Or?
You sent the email today.
Yeah, he sent that email, and we've looked at them.
Yeah.
I assume everyone has.
Yeah, his financial report, like this is where we're at. I mean, I can talk to it briefly. Like this is a general snapshot from like last week, I think. Actuals as of 6:30. But you know, in a budget system, it takes a while for everything to roll in and get accounted for. So you can kind of see we're at 102% of our revenue that was over what was budgeted. So we actually got a little more revenue than we thought. And then you can go to the next page, and then it talks about our expenditures. And you can see that we're at about 97%. But again, some of those things still need to roll in. And that's on that first instruction group. And then on the bottom, under support services, we're at about 95%. But those will go up as things get recorded and managed. And so Raya and Amanda are busy doing all the budgeting things right now and trying to get final payments out to, for different things. So this is kind of just a snapshot in time.
No, Tom and I talked. First of all, I appreciate him even getting those numbers to us with the condition he's in and everything. And
yeah.
But as him and I talked, if we're going to have a time when we don't have the thoroughness that we normally are used to, this would be the month to have it, because we basically have nothing happen in July this fiscal year yet.
Yeah.
And the other one is still wrapping up.
Yeah, but it takes several months to get all of those things in there. Yep.
Okay.
That's why we don't do the audit until October usually.
Right. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, budget calendar.
Can't find their calendar.
We'll be adopting
So
that
annoying.
as an action item, I believe.
Yeah, so you've got the proposed board meetings for the year in front of you.
I'm trying to track down like the calendar on our district website. You know where it's at?
It's under the quick links.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is the calendar.
but I'm talking about the page that showed the whole year with different colors.
Yeah, so on quick links, if you click on it, there's calendars.
Yeah, click it.
And then scroll down, and are you looking for the board approved
Yeah,
calendar?
that's the one right there. Okay, farther down. Okay. Because the one that we have there doesn't seem to be quite updated yet. Okay. Thank you. I'm
Just a
ready.
note, I will probably miss the April meeting.
You will remind
I
us
re-
between now and then, right?
It's a lot of head time, lead time.
I
Thank you,
have
Mom.
it there.
If I wrote it down, I'll forget where I put that piece of paper.
Yeah. That's what we
Debbie,
call
I'll make
advance
sure we
notice right
remember.
there.
That is advance notes. I
I hope
appreciate
you're on
it.
hope you're on a vacation.
So a couple questions on this. Tuesday, November 10th. That's what I wanted to see. Was there a holiday on a Monday? I was trying to figure out why we're on a Tuesday. And not a Monday.
It's probably Veterans Day.
Yeah, it'd be Veterans Day.
Veterans Day is on
Is that
Veterans Day is
Wednesday?
on Veterans Day, though.
I don't know,
Yeah, it's
November
the
9th?
11th.
No,
What's on
November
Tuesday?
9th would be a Monday. I'm just wondering, there's nothing on the calendar that's a school day, or I'm like, why is it?
Why is it on a Tuesday?
Yes.
I'll find out why I put it on a Tuesday, and I'll
Okay.
email everybody.
Yeah.
Also noted we didn't have a work session that one.
November 9th.
Yeah, 'cause it falls on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's Monday. It's a typo. It's not Tuesday, it's Monday.
Oh, okay, so the
It's a
date's
type,
right.
It's
Okay.
Monday.
Okay. All
Just
right.
pretend it says Monday.
No, they said no, but they put November 10th on the, no, I'm in the wrong one. Okay.
This
there
one
we
No,
says
this
November
one
9th.
go. Okay. Tuesday, November 9th. That's what
It's
threw me
just
off.
Monday. It
But
should
the
say
meeting
Monday.
is
Yeah.
it's spelled here Tuesday, November 9th, so we assume it's Monday, November 9th.
It is Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, good.
Okay, we're good there.
Yep.
And there was a conversation about the time of the meeting. Have we made a decision about that, or
A what?
the time?
About
of
the
meeting?
time.
6:30.
It doesn't say on there.
Oh.
I know there was a discussion of adding a few more minutes for those of us that work late, but
Do you want to add a few more minutes? You
I mean,
guys can
I
chat
usually
about
can
it.
manage.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me walking in a couple times at the last second.
No, I don't mind.
Okay.
I think it's okay.
We had 7, and then we went to 6:30, and I think it's worked. I know it puts a burden on you and Josh, but it's worked pretty good at 6:30 as far as people getting home in some kind of a timely fashion.
It's just tough with dinner.
Um,
You know, it's just trying to get something to eat, but I make it work. I mean,
Is, no, never mind.
It's a good excuse to get fast food.
Taco Bell it is, yeah.
I think Sarah's tired of my breath already. So, no work session in November, we decided. even
No, it's
though
on
we
the week of
did-
Thanksgiving.
Right. That we traditionally haven't, Christmas and.
Spring break.
And we're just making note of, on any of our workshops, as needed, because sometimes there's more than we can handle a regular meeting, and we need to have a workshop, and then other times, there's been a couple times we probably had a workshop just because it was on the calendar, and it really wasn't justified by how much agenda there was for it.
Especially since we've kind of transitioned out of that, we were in kind of crisis mode for a little bit, and there was definitely a need for a work
Yeah,
session
there
in the
was
first year
things
every time.
happening all the time.
But now we're seeing less and less, need on those second meetings.
So, okay,
That was it. That's all I had.
okay. Anyone else? All right. Well, looks like we're ready. Public comment? Do we have any public comment? Online, do we have any public comment? Okay. Okay, move on to action item.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure what the protocol is because I've never done this before, but I feel like I haven't gone update lately on the negotiations with the classified and the license. Is that something that we could ask to do a short executive session after we vote on the action item?
Well, we did do an
Or-
update at the last meeting.
Yeah,
Um,
but like, I don't know,
More detail.
I'm assuming that there's more that happened, and because it was in public session, I felt that we were kind of limited on,
Yeah, we can
on
do
the
an,
information.
we could do an
that?
executive
No,
session,
I don't want to
but
do an hour, but,
we haven't met again with licensed,
Oh,
and we
no,
haven't met
okay.
again with classified either. So we meet again with classified on Thursday,
okay,
the 16th.
okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, there hasn't been really anything
Okay,
to
all right,
report
okay.
beyond.
That
the
that
last
answers
thing.
my
Yeah.
question, then. We don't
Yeah.
have to have one, because you don't
Yeah.
have anything new to
Yeah, a lot of
report.
people are gone in July, and so.
So if we have, hopefully, we'll have other things to talk about. Maybe we'll have a short meeting
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
at the
Yeah.
at the work session. You can hear some discussion on what's going on.
Yeah, the license isn't scheduled yet till August,
August, yeah,
as far as that one.
yeah.
Oh, and the board, the bond measure, don't we have things to do?
That would be
In,
August.
in August,
August?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's a big.
I'm just ready to go.
We do apply for the Awesome Grant on the 15th at 8:01 a.m., so,
That's exciting.
yeah. 8:01, or whenever it clicks
Sorry,
over.
didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt
Okay,
your flow, sir.
okay, back to the agenda. The action item we have is approval of the calendar with the one amendment to the November 9th is a Monday. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion to accept it as modified with the Monday instead of the Tuesday, November 9th.
Second.
Been moved and second to adopt the calendar as presented with the one change of it being listed as Monday for November 9th. Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Future agenda item, which I feel like we've almost covered. So,
Oh, I do have, I have a question, I don't know if it's a future agenda item or not. There is a pack developing for the bond measure, and I would like to know what the ethical and legal implication of board members on that pack is. Is there a limitation? Is there restriction? Is there?
Yes, I will-
What's the rule? Maybe
I-
you can send that to
I will
us.
find that section in my bond
Okay.
guidebook, that's like 200 pages, and I will send it to you guys
Thank you very
tomorrow.
much.
Yeah,
Appreciate
so
it.
that you know exactly what the parameters
Yes.
are. Yeah, there's different rules for different employees and different,
Yeah.
and so I'll send that out.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yep.
okay.
I'm done.
Oh, I guess, I mean, I'll talk to you about that later, Kim. It was about policy stuff, so I think we'll get to that later.
Okay. We're adjourned.